Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be discussing one of the best shooters, white boy by the name of, I don't know if that's actually with like how many shootings there have been in this country. I digress. Either way, Luke Kennard, the sniper. I guess I just doubled down. But the Rockets, the Pistons, the Pacers, the Magic, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Knicks are interested in Luke Kennard, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. So before we start, which team do you think's gonna win this sweepstake? Yeah, you never thought Luke Kennard was gonna have a sweepstake, but guess what? It seems like he has like a large, myriad of teams interested in him. Either way, I'd like to hear what you have to say. And while you're there, hit that like and subscribe button. It'll help out the channel a ton. So, what are we talking about? This is a report that's coming from a man by the name of Kelly Iko from The Athletic. Yes, Kelly Iko of The Athletic is reporting that, by the way, do you guys like this new setup? This is like a little new setup. I thought, like with the slideshow and stuff, it makes us look a little bit better, a little bit more animations, give us a little something. Either way, the veteran sharpshooter Luke Kennard is drawing interest from almost every team in the league. Contenders want the guy who not only is a good three-point shooter, but is an underrated passer, can be a secondary or a tertiary playmaker for you, while also he's not a turnstile on defense. I'm not going to sit here and be like he's a good defender, but he's like obviously not a cone. Now, he's someone who shot 43% from deep last year, 47% from the field, 63% true shooting. Yeah, baby. And that's 9 points, 3.3 assists, and just under 3 rebounds a game, 65 appearances this past year for the Memphis Grizzlies after returning on that 1-year deal. So what teams could be interested in him? We're going to just go through all of them. We're going to first start off with the Denver Nuggets. Now, if the Nuggets are doing this has to, how are they going to get this done? This is a team that has no money. I've suggested that if they were to do anyway, first off, this would have to be a sign trade, and any sign trade has to be a minimum of 3 years. So would it be a deal where they somehow are able to send a combination of like Dario Saric or just Peyton Watson? Because I assume the only trade chip that they have to offer is Peyton Watson, because they're either going to sign Christian Brown and Peyton Watson to extensions or just Christian Brown, and that's probably how it's going to go. And Peyton Watson is an incredible defender, shot blocking defender, can finish lobs, can score, and is kind of not been held back, but the odd man out if they were to do something. And he's kind of the only trade chip they have, as they don't have any trade assets. I mean, they have like Deron Holmes, but I think they're going to keep Deron Holmes because they haven't had a backup center. And yeah, so some sort of sign trade, Payne Watson. Luke Kennard comes in here. He would be their sixth man behind for and basically be able to alleviate Christian Brown and Michael Porter Jr. whenever needed. So that's one to consider. Stay hydrated. Now let's go to the next team, which the Detroit Pistons. Well, we all thought Malik Beasley was going to be the guy who was going to return. Well, he might be returning to a familiar place, and that's not. I was going to make a joke about how he's been to jail before, but like it's just the low-hanging fruit. Either way. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland, Simone Fontecchio, Isaiah Stewart, and Bobby Clinton and Chaz Lanier. Right there. Chaz Lanier, Tobias Harris, and Simone Fontecchio are your 3 best shooters. Luke Kennard comes in. He's probably the best shooter. Unless like you're like me and say like Chaz Lanier actually is like one hell of a shooter and could really push, Luke Kennard for that 3-point shooting mantle. And by the way, Luke Kennard played for the Detroit Pistons. He was drafted by them. So, it could be a return. Maybe he still has a place there. But this team benefited from all the 3-point shooting they brought in last year. And it seemingly seems as Tim Hardaway Jr. might be the only one out of the Schroeder, Malik Beasley trio to return. And he's not even a guarantee. So, Kennard would be an upgrade technically. I don't know if an upgrade from Malik Beasley, but almost equal value. Malik Beasley gives you more defense, but not like the passing that Luke Kennard can give you. Let's go to the next one. Houston Rockets. Yeah. The Houston Rockets, the rich try to keep getting richer. Sounds like capitalism in America. Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, Alperen Şengün, Kevin Durant. They don't really have a six-man. Yeah, I know there's Tari Eason, and I love him, but he's more of a defender. He still will be their like seventh dude in the rotation. Cam Whitmore technically would be their six-man, or Reed Shepherd. Jayshawn Tate was just brought back, and the expectation is Jeff Green will be brought back too. But Luke Kennard would come in and be like a bona fide sniper, and this team wasn't a great three-point shooting team last year either. So you come in and give them an actual dead-eye shooter that isn't named Kevin Durant to be here. And we don't know if Reed Shepherd is going to get much playing time. So having Luke Kennard come in there and be someone who can play the 2 or the 3, be a facilitator and a sniper is huge for a team like Houston that has playoffs but championship aspirations now. Indiana, team that went to Game 7 in the NBA Finals. Tyrese Haliburton's going to be out for the year, but TJ McConnell and Andrew Nembhard are going to hold down the point guard position. They have Ben Shepherd, Benedict Mathurin, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, Johnny Furphy, Obi Toppin. They're expected to bring back Miles Turner. They have Jarris Walker. They kept Tony Bradley. The expectation is maybe Thomas Bryant's going to return, or they'll have somebody else. But if you look there isn't like a marksman three-point shooter. And especially with Tyrese being gone, I think having another guy there and Luke Kennard who can bounce between the 2 and the 3 with Aaron Nesmith, Furphy, Shepherd, Benedict Mathurin, and even a little bit of Obi Toppin. I know they have it, Paylon Peter and Cam Jones, who they just brought in. But having a guy like Luke Kennard could be a year deal that really helps maximize this roster until Tyrese returns, if he does return next season. The Clippers, another team that has had Luke Kennard, moved on from Luke Kennard, now wants to bring back Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard is like that ex-boyfriend that everybody regrets. He's got the marriage light on, or whatever people say, like when somebody's ready for marriage and they're ready, but they get broken up and they're like the next person they're supposed to get married with. That this isn't the case. It's more so Luke Kennard is the perpetual perfect bachelor. James Harden, Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Derek Jones, Zubats. It's a pretty good starting 5. Throwing Luke Kennard off the bench as your 6-man, Chris Dunn. All right. You try to flip Bogdan for something, or you keep him. You have Nick Batum back. You got Yannick Conan Niederhauser, maybe sign Clint Capella. You have Jordan Miller, who I think is a stud. You still have Cam Christie and Kobe Brown, and you have, newly brought in Swiss Army knife, Kobe Sanders. You have two-way and Seth Lundy and Mr. Pat Baldwin. Drew Eubanks is a $4.75 million non-guaranteed contract that's expected to be waived. We don't know what's going to happen with Ben Simmons or Patty Mills or Amir Coffey, but also it says Kobe Brown is a free agent as well. So I'm trying to see, did Kobe Brown just get waived? Or is I work at Hoops Hype, so did we just mess up something? I'm pretty sure Kobe Brown's still on the team. Yeah, Kobe Brown he's still on the team, yeah. No news. So, Luke Kennard would be the best three-point shooting. This is a team that didn't really shoot threes last year either. One of the worst three-point shooting teams. They would benefit from Luke Kennard. Going to be their 6-man. Would play Bogdan's role, which would make Bogdan irrelevant, but, maybe that's worth it in that sense. Who else we got on here? The New York Knicks. This is self-explanatory. Look at that bench. There's no one reliable besides Deuce McBride. You don't have a backup shooting guard. You don't have a backup small forward. No offense to Pacome or Tyler Kolek. And you get Luke Kennard in there, especially if you look at who their free agent options. You can bring back Landry Shamet and campaign, and you still have Luke Kennard. It's a pretty good. Have I said Cornette this whole time? I know I've said Kennard this whole time. Luke Kennard, right? Luke Kennard. This would be a great team. The Orlando Magic, another one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the leagues. And by the way, the Knicks are a good team. This would be a good bench now. The Knicks, but the Orlando Magic, one of the worst three-point shooting teams. That's why they went out and got Desmond Bane. Now, Tristan Da Silva and Jace Richardson make up kind of their backup wings. Luke Kennard would make that great. And now I'm just mad that I think I've been saying Luke Cornette this whole time. It's Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard would make this way better. And Luke Kennard would make this team have another facilitator besides relying upon Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs. But would give them another, and supposedly they're going to bring in Tyus Jones. But Luke Kennard would help maximize this team's lack of three-point shooting, which they sorely need. Now, That's it. We're done. Luke Kennard. If I said Luke Cornett this whole video, someone stabbed me. But that was it. What do you think? Which team should get him? I'm now like just completely confused if I've said Luke Kennard or Luke Cornett this whole time. God dang.